Hey, everybody, John and Lance from the bench here on ESPN 97.5 mornings. You can hear us from 7 to 11. Want to talk some Rockets basketball. Is it time for Russ to return? Healthy or not, they've got to have him if they're going to win this series. And or do you wait? Try to get through this thing and preserve him for later rounds.
I mean, we saw him, in a 2-on-2 matchup yesterday. We saw him working on skills. It looks like he's getting pretty close. I think right now you're going to have, another day of recovery as of the day we're, taping this. So I think you play it by ear, and if Russ is good to go, if Russ is approaching 90%, I mean, you fire him in there. I don't know. Maybe if he's approaching 85%, you put him in there. I would have said no previously, but you're at 2 games apiece, and what we've seen is that Eric Gordon simply can't be relied upon to be the number 2 creator, and that's a big problem because when James Harden, didn't get his rest in the fourth quarter, I mean, I'm just going to assume that was the reason he played no defense in the fourth quarter and didn't give much effort. He just didn't look like he had the same energy level. So,
well, But Eric Gordon has to, though. Eric Gordon did. He was driving to the basket in game 1. They looked awesome. He wasn't settling for threes like he has been the rest of the series and shooting terribly. Eric Gordon, you know what? If Russ can't go, you just got to say, Eric Gordon, you got to change. You got to go back to what you did in game 1. And listen, they are good enough. They took them to overtime. It took overtime to lose game 3. They had a 15-point lead in game 4, and they lose both of those games because they're not playing smart basketball. Keep jacking up threes instead of somebody like Eric Gordon or James Harden driving to the hole and actually finishing at the hole. I mean, they don't have to have Russ. But this is a built-in excuse, isn't it? If Russ doesn't play and they don't win this series, then they've got that built-in excuse that they didn't have Russ.
Well, I mean, you can build in your excuses until until there's a new GM, a new star player. I mean, I don't care. Whatever excuse you want to have, if you lose, you were the better team and lost. That's all I care about. I don't care about any built-in excuses. You didn't hit open shots. And, the one thing I'll say is I wouldn't expect the Rockets to do a lot of things differently because other than those stupid pull-up shots from 30 feet away, the Rockets are getting open looks when James drives and creates. They're not making them. Well, what happens when they don't make them? Well, we've already seen in Golden State. I mean, it's feast or famine when they were 0-27. I thought in Game 4 when they were missing open looks, unless James takes over, and he had a chance to take over in the fourth quarter, that didn't happen with James Harden in Game 4. And so that's what really makes me – I would have been fine sitting Russ out the whole time. The Rockets look like they had it. But right now – I worry about the mentality and the psychology of the Rockets after losing back-to-back games where Chris Paul looked pretty good in Game 4. He and Schroeder kind of had their way at times. So I'm getting a little bit concerned, and I think that if Russ can go, he may need to go just because it looks like they need a second creator on the court.
Well, and James's turnovers at the end, which he happens, the dumb shots, that they were 3 for 23 at one point on three-pointers, and they kept on jacking them up instead of driving the basket. They didn't shoot as many free throws, but they shot the ball well. They still shot 39% from 3. There's no reason that they should have lost that game. But here's the deal, too, is you can blame it Russ not being there, but Luka found a way without Porzingis. Porzingis is just as important to the Dallas Mavericks as Russ is to the Rockets' success, and they beat a better team in the Clippers.
Way better team. Way better. That's why no excuse. There's no excuses to be made. You won 2 games without him. You had a chance to win the 3rd without him.
And the 4th.
Yeah, and the 4th without him. So I mean, that's why I don't even like even talking about this because it's like almost people are starting to warm up their tweets about what they're going to say or their talking points. There is no talking point. The Rockets are a better team. James Harden is a better star player than anybody Oklahoma City has. And if you have the best player, and here's the other thing, the Rockets are. It looks like. In the neighborhood of just as athletic as Oklahoma City, to be honest with you. Daniel House is a good athlete. Covington is athletic. McLemore's a good athlete. And Jeff Green has played good basketball in this series. So it's frustrating because there's a lack of finish from the Rockets. And John, maybe there's something to the fact that, and the broadcasters make this point every single game, that is the best finishing team in basketball, Oklahoma City. Maybe there's something to it because they finished the last two and the Rockets did.